Welcome to the Mother-Daughter-ish podcast. It's your mama's favorite podcast.
And the podcast your daughter always wanted.
This is Miss Dawn.
And Angelique.
From the 713. Houston, y'all. Get connected and stay connected weekly as new shows debut on Sunday, Wednesday, and please check out our Saturday Out and About showcases.
Enjoy the show. Please subscribe, like, share, comment, and tell every woman on the planet that you know about our show.
Here's our show for today.
Hey mothers and daughters, I am here with a very, very exciting new show, and it's going to lead you into 2024. I am excited to first say Happy New Year, and I kind of want to wrap up my end of the year, last 90 to 120 days, and then lead into the top Googled people of 2023. I've already told you earlier about the top words for 2023, but I want to talk to you also about the top 10 searches for 2023, top 10 travel searches 2023, top 10 movies and series and cars, and I just want to wrap up 2023 in a nice little cute little bow by just discussing it. That's all. I mean, nothing other than just putting some things on your mind. And I'd like to also know if you could put down in the comment box if any of these things that I'm talking about are things that you even searched, researched, looked more into, got more to know about. So when I started back talking to you through the podcast, maybe this month, I'll just say, I was just letting you know that there were some things that I needed to wrap up for the end of the year. And it's just been a lot. I mean, when I say a lot, I didn't even write it down because I just didn't even want to get overwhelmed. So I'm just going to recall it from my own memory. But this last part of the year, I would say the last 120 days, I made some real challenging decisions. Only because when I make a decision, it's done. If I say to you, I'm done with you and that, you best believe I'm done and we're over discussing that particular thing or whatever. And so, if I didn't say already, Happy New Year, because it's here, it's coming. I talked to some other friends in other countries. It's already New Year there. I was talking to somebody from Hong Kong today, and he was saying, it's already New Year here, and I was just so excited because as soon as, the New Year changed over, he sent me a text message saying, I'm wishing you a blessed new year or whatever. And this person helped us in Hong Kong, and we ended up trading phone numbers with him. And he's just been kind of keeping up or whatever. It's not, anything interesting like that. But just kind of like, that message kind of came out of the blue. Hadn't chatted with him since Hong Kong. But anyway, my end of the year was making some decisions on people that I'm going to continue to associate with and people I'm not going to associate with. And I will tell you, it's nothing bad. It's just that I decided that if you're not moving forward, then I'm not going to allow you to keep me stagnant. Because I'm not going to move backward, but I'm just not going to allow people to keep me stagnant. So I had to remove many things from my diet. That could be food, that could be people, that could be things I do, that could be business, that could be all kinds of things. So, just to kind of give you an idea, I've had friends that I've, been associating with for 20 plus years that this year I had to just say, we've ran our course. This person is not moving forward. This person is not up for the task. This person does not call and follow up like they should. This person just is not the type of friend that's pouring into me like I'm pouring into them. So, done with that. I let go of, trying to push and pull on anything. Like, for example, I shared with you now twice that my PCP doctor fired me because she said I wasn't a good candidate to be her client. No, she said I wasn't an ideal client for her because I was not on medications, and she likes to have all of her clients on 7 to 12 different medications. She even said that she's on 11 medications. So when she fired me, I didn't try to stay. I didn't try to say, but what about me? I went and found a naturopathic doctor like she told me to. So if you're going to fire me and I'm not valuable to you as a client, that's good. I fired a client of my own. And the reason is because she did something that I felt was very negative. And I always say, I'm not going to allow people to bring something to me that I'm not going to continue and keep up. So just in short, what happened is that I'm doing something for her. I'm requesting, things that I needed. She was too busy to get those things to me. Ignored, ignored, ignored. So I just did whatever I could and sent her a note and let her know, hey, we're done. I don't want to do any more work for you. And I had to do that with 3 clients this year. One was because of, her failure to do what needed to be done for me to do my work. Another one was because she pretty much wanted to get the services that she desperately needed for free, and she called me 3, 4, 5 times to try to waste my time. And then when I said by the third call, listen, here's what my fee is for you to discuss that with me, for me to give you real tangible ideas. So when she said that, I told her, you know what, you may want to find somebody else that can do that service for you for free, or the way you want to tell them to do it, and not the legal way that's supposed to be done. But I'm not your girl. So I fired that particular person this year, and then another person that I fired because I did some thing for that particular person, and then they wanted to hold and clutch on to me for me to do favors for free, and I'm just not going to do that. I'm not even that type of person to even go through something like that. So I wasn't going to let anybody take me through that. So that was that instance. More foods that I'm finding that are not really good for me and my blood type and things like that. I've erased and gotten rid of those things. But the other thing that happened for me in the last 120 days is that putting together and building a travel group of women 45 or older, the International Ladies of Purpose, if you want to check us out online. And what's good about that, I'm an ambassador for the group. It's my brain thought, but there's a legal board that's put in place because it's a nonprofit. I'm an ambassador of the group, and I'm bringing my expertise for the women 45 and older that are being supported through this group with personal development and professional development. And under personal development, there's over 50 things that can be offered from the ambassadors. Under professional development, there's over 40 things that can be offered through the ambassadors, and with all of the partnership and collaborations that we're going to be building around this globe, and just making it a fantastic organization. But that came into fruition June of 2022, but it got turned into a nonprofit May of 2023. So we didn't get all of that paperwork finished until, like I said, 120 days ago, because there were questions that we needed to answer through the IRS. But the other thing was just really, really amazing opportunities to travel. In the last 120 days, I've been to Las Vegas. I've been to 5 different areas in and around Mexico. I've been to the Hoover Dam. I've been to Thailand for 30 days nearly. I've done a lot of really wonderful things in the last 120 days. See, something that I'll tell you about me is I'm about action. A lot of talking doesn't excite me. Action excites me. So, for example, if you say, oh, I really would like a popsicle right now, and I would really like a watermelon one with some Jolly Rancher, blah, 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 blah. Okay, that's great for you to talk about it, but if you really want it and you're craving it, I'm suggesting that you go get it. Or when you do finally get it, put several of them in your freezer. Now, y'all, I'm talking to myself because I was in the grocery store 2 days ago and I wanted some watermelon popsicles. And I was like, you know what? I've had that thought, so let me go ahead and pick some up. So I picked up a box of 6, and now I have them. They probably will not be eaten for 3 or 4 months. Who knows? It's cold outside, and I don't, have a craving for those type of sugary things except for like every now and then. And it's more for me wanting to have a taste for the cold. That's why I love to eat fruit every day, because of the coldness that it brings in. Plus, fruit gives you your H3O waters, and that's really good for you, especially if you want to keep your liquids and things like that up. So that's what I've been doing the last 20 days, is just really planning for my 2024, which I have so many things. I just actually, on December the 30th, I had a Zoom party to clear out the end of the year, talk about what we got coming up for 2024, talk about what we already did for 2023, talk about how we're going to collaborate and partner to make this organization amazing so that we can help women all around the globe. I'm very, very, very excited about that. And the great thing is the women that we'll be helping, there's no cost to them or anything. We just want to lend our expertise to them. Okay? Now, if they decide to donate to our organization once they get up on their feet, that's up to them. But their initial offering, there won't be a cost to these particular women and young girls. Because even though we're catering to women 45 and older, we will be mentoring young girls. I'll talk to you more about that later on down the road. I'm going to do a whole commercial and video about that so that people can know more about us now that we have all of our documents that we need to move forward and grow and excel. But to wrap out our 2023, now that I've shared with you what I've kind of been up to in the last 120 days, I want to talk to you about some year-end things that we can just kind of have some fun with. I also found out that I really love card games, but not your traditional, because I wasn't playing those type of things when I was younger. You know, we just didn't play cards. My mom, we just didn't do it. It wasn't a priority. We were busy doing other family stuff. And I love card games. I love the, would you rather type stuff. I love trivia type stuff, Pictionary. I like things like that that are like keep you thinking and on your feet. And I'm developing a lot of different card games for the travel group so that we have fun things that we can do. So if you are a woman that's 40, 45 or older and you would like to travel with some wonderful women and work on your personal and professional development, hit me up. Hit me up. You know how to reach me. It's all in the comment section. But I want to start first with some of the top Google searches. And the reason I want to start with that is because I have found that to be so interesting. I'm kind of nosy and like to know what people are looking up. I've seen people doing top Google searches by state. And I even saw somebody do a wrap-up show, and they were talking about the top searches for certain websites that should not be viewed by children, but he went state by state and looked at what people's kind of little fetishes were on these different adult sites. So I found that to be quite interesting because I would not have done a show like that. But I listened to his because it was actually very interesting. So the first one I'm going to start with on the Google searches is the top Google searched globally. So globally, and I'll give you the numbers as well, globally the YouTube, which is the hottest thing going right now, you can say whatever you want to say, but YouTube has continued to surpass all of the other video streaming. And I found 129 other video streaming sites. Okay, that was years ago. I now got to add Twitch and all this other stuff to it. But YouTube is the hottest thing going. So if you can find a way that you can get your information out and you want to start your YouTube channel, then I suggest you go ahead and do it. So on YouTube, they had 1.5 billion search volume. That's major, okay? The number 2 was Facebook, and I'm super surprised with Facebook. It had over 167 million search volume. The only reason why I'm surprised with Facebook is because a lot of people have moved away from Facebook, but obviously not. But then I also do know the game that a lot of people have lost their Facebook pages and they've just created more. People get kicked off of Facebook, they just create a new page. People lose their passwords and it locks them out, they just create another page. So I do know that that is over there. Like for example, just me alone, I probably have, 4 or 5 Facebook pages because the podcast has a page, the travel group has a page, I have a page, so that's 3 just with one individual. So let's just say every human who has a Facebook page has 3 or 4 pages. Boom, there's your billions. WhatsApp. Now okay, let me give you the number first. WhatsApp had 543 million. So 543,300,000. Now I just got on WhatsApp this year. I may have found out about it years ago, but I just got on it because I realized how important it is for me to have it as I'm, traveling globally and trying to reach out to, set up tours and excursions and things like that, call hotels. I just had an experience in December. I had met the concierge at this hotel in Mexico that I like to stay in, and I got her phone number, she got mine, and she set up all of our tour things before we got there. So I planned it out, set it up, got there, paid for it, it was done. But she and I have been talking since I was just there in August, and I just got her number because I was like, this is going to be valuable to kind of have things set up before I get there because I don't like to get anywhere and not know, what I'm going to be doing, and that somebody can help me put it up. So WhatsApp was number 3. And then number 4, I'm just going to do the top dogs, okay? Number 4, you won't even believe, was the Weather Channel. So that was 512,700,000. But again, YouTube was 1.5 trillion. So to me, that is quite impressive. So those are the top searches on Google. YouTube, number 1. Facebook, number 2. WhatsApp, number 3. And the weather, number 4. All right. So now I want to tell you who are the top searched people. And then I'm going to just throw a little spice in there and put a little stank on it and tell you why I think they were the most searched. Okay. So number 1 is Amber Heard. We know with her and the Johnny Depp, and I just did a show the other day about meta tags and was talking about how watching this trial helped me to really put in focus how dangerous it is to be sending pictures and things like that, because they can, people can find your exact location, and for the killer that's out there on those dating apps, they could come and get you, honey. But Amber Heard was number 1 for 2023, and I think it was strictly really due to the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial. And there was one part in that trial that just stunned us all, and it had to do with poop on a pillow, and that's as far as I'm going to go with that. But it was disgusting. If you did not see the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp trial, go back and just look at the transcripts or whatever you got to do to just kind of realize how absolutely bonkers it was. Will Smith was number 2, and I think we know why. Thanks to Jada. Thanks to Jada Pinkett Smith. Thank you, Jada, for making Will the most searched. I almost said something. I was about to say the most searched simp, but I take that back. Rewind. The most searched man. I don't know this next person, but their name is Rishi Sunak. Rishi. So that's Rishi Sunak. Sunac. Now, I don't know who this person is, so I don't know why they were the most searched. The next, obviously, is Chris Rock. Now, we know that he would be the next top searched person on Google because of the big pew slap. Now, if I say pew pew, that's a G-U-N. If I say pew, that's just a slap. So let's get our little codes together. And then the next one is Vladimir Putin. Okay, next. Novak Djokovic. The next one, of course, Johnny Depp. Okay. Andrew Tate was next. We know he got in a little bit of trouble with trafficking and some things that he said on the web. He even went to prison. All of those things happened for him, and he almost lost his reputation, but I've kind of seen him start to creep back into social society online. And then the next searched person was Simone Leviev. And I don't know if that's Simon Leviev or Simone Leviev. But those are the top searched people for 2023. Amber Heard, Chris Rock, Johnny Depp, Will Smith, Vladimir Putin, Andrew Tate, Rishi Sunak, Novak Djokovic. It might be Djokovic, yeah. Because how sometimes those first letters be silent. And then Simon Leviev. Top searched people of 2023. Wouldn't it be cute if our name was there, but for a good reason and not for a scandal? Okay. Now, the top searched travel, and this is not in any number, this is just not in any order, this is just the top searched travel. So the top searched travel of 2023 was Paris, London, the Maldives. I'm pretty sure I made those numbers high because I've been looking into Maldives for all kinds of reasons. Matter of fact, in 2026, we have a retreat with the International Ladies of Purpose. We have a retreat in the Maldives and Tahiti for 2026. 2025, by the way, we're going to Bahamas. We was going to go to Puerto Rico for 2024, but the attendance was low, and here's the opportunity now. We have a year to promote the one for the Bahamas, so that's going to be really, really amazing. Rome. Let me go back. Paris, I haven't been there. London, I haven't been there. The Maldives, I haven't been there. Next search was Rome, I've been there. The next search was Barcelona, I haven't been there. The next search was Las Vegas. You know, I've been there, by the way, many times since my 20s. But you know, the last time I was in Las Vegas, which was in October, we met the cutest two girls that were from Ireland. It was her 30 something birthday, and she was there celebrating for the first time that she had ever been to Ireland. And she and her sister, we met them on the gondola ride at the Venetian, and they were so cute and so sweet and so pleasant and nice to speak with. And they were so excited to be in Las Vegas. So I'm happy to know that Las Vegas is still on people's list and that they still look at it as a priority. The next search is Cancun. Has become one of my favorites in the last 4 years. I go at least 2, 3, 4 times a year. But I don't just go to Cancun. I land in Cancun, but I get out and I go to Cozumel. I get out and go to Holbox. I get out and go to Valladolid. I get out and just go to other places. Isla Mujeres. I cannot say all of those, but I get out and I go places and I get and talk to the people in the place. I don't just sit around in the touristy area. Japan is next on the list, and yes, I've been to Japan. Actually, I took my son for his graduation when he was 18. He graduated from high school, and all of the kids got a trip in a car when they graduated, and he got a little 2002 Toyota Corolla, and then he got a trip to Japan for 14 days, and he and I had the most amazing time. We cannot wait to go back again, hopefully as a family. And he found it to just fit and gel with him so well. I think at that time he thought, I could live here. But I think now that he's acclimated himself, he has his own apartment, he has a girlfriend now, he's got a job that he really likes. And I think that now he's like, you know what? I think I want to stick around in the community that I'm already in. And then the next one, yes, I've been, and this is New York. Now, when we used to go to New York, like I kind of go to Mexico now. We would go 2, 3 times a year. I'd always go with ladies that always wanted to go, or when my daughter Angie turned, I said Angie, child. When my daughter Angelique, or Angie, turned 16, she did her sweet 16 there with her good best friend Chelsea, her stepsister Tata, and somebody else. Man, I can't even remember. But anyway, we had the most amazing time, and that was a great sweet 16 for her, and I'm sure that she still remembers it today. As a matter of fact, she's turning 30 in 2024, and I'm taking her on a surprise birthday trip, and I hope that her friends kind of tag along and come with us, but I'm not even telling her where we're going until we actually get to the airport, and we have to find our location of where we're going. But I'm not even telling her until then. I'm just going to kind of tell her how to pack. I'm going to run down the activities and things like that in a high level, and then from there just let her know that, like, okay, you have a photo shoot we're going to be doing, we have a free day, you can just do whatever you want to do on that free day, the type of food that we're going to be eating is blah blah blah, bring these type of clothing, that type of thing. So I'm going to make it really, really amazing. She's turning 30. The next time I would do something like that for her would be 40, and that'll be 10 years from now. So I'll be 61 years old, 62 almost. So you better get it while you can and while I'm young enough to actually give it to you. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I kind of like wake up and live life like, okay, I feel like this today. I can do this level of activity or whatever. So why not just do it? I still feel like I can travel and I can climb and I can zip line and I can ride. I can do whatever. I can, ride through the jungle on ATVs. I still have the fervor to want to do that. So when I wake up every day, it's like, what's my level of what I want to do? All right, now next, top searched movies on Google for 2023. Now this is across the web, okay? This is me digging deep as I took my notes and was like, I want to know what was, who looked this up and who did that, and I just started taking my notes, and I have 4 pages of notes that I wanted to remind myself to talk to you about, mothers and daughters. Now, the top searched movies across the web, I like to call it the interweb, like the interstate. One was Black Adam. I have a confession. I literally just watched Black Adam 2 weeks ago. I didn't know really what it was about. I'm not really into The Rock like that. I like him, don't get me wrong. Yes, I do. And I'm not just saying because he's nice looking. I'm just saying I like the movies that he's been in all the way since he played the Fairy Godfather movie with with the little daughter girl that was daughter on the show or whatever. I've liked him since then, but he's not like one of my favorite type heroes. And I think the reason is because his body is just too superhero built. Like I like guys like what's his name? That plays Iron Man. He is a small man, okay? And when I say small, I mean he's short and he's little. But when he puts on his Iron Man suit, he becomes big and huge and just amazingly strong looking. I don't like them when in real life they are already big and strong. Now, let me be clear. I like them for myself, but not as my superhero. Like my favorite male superhero, judge me if you want, I don't care. Judge yourself. My favorite superhero, and I've got his pictures up in my office, and I've bought antique plaques with him on there. I'll talk about my antique plaques one day that I have up in my office. And I'm getting ready to redecorate my entire office to inspire everything that I do for 2024. I'm changing carpet, I'm painting, I'm redoing a lot of things in that office, and I'm going to kick that off actually on the 1st. I'll start clearing out that office to get ready to be remodeled, or I would just say renewed because I'm not remodeling anything. But listen, my favorite superhero to me, and he wasn't considered a superhero back in the day, but he just was. But is the Incredible Hulk. Like when he's David Banner, he's just a little man. And when I say little, I don't mean short or anything like that. But he was just a regular man, just working in the little with everybody else. But then when he turned into the Hulk, when I was a kid, like around 12 or 13 or whatever, I used to dream that the Hulk would always save me and we always got married in the end. To the point that I always wanted to meet Lou Ferrigno. Now that's some crazy confessions right there. I have always liked Lou Ferrigno, and I have always liked David Banner as transitioning into the Hulk. The only thing I never really understood or liked was why, even when he turned into the Hulk, why his pants still fit. Okay, let's move on because I'm telling too much information. But anyway, Black Adam, I finally saw it 2 weeks ago, and actually I enjoyed it. It was really, really good. It had a really nice meaning, and I liked everybody else that played in the movie as well. The mom, the son, and all of that. Jurassic World Domination. I absolutely love every bit and every crumb and every piece of every Jurassic that I've ever seen. And let me tell you something, to the point that when they did the Jurassic cartoon on Netflix, I am all series in. They've done at least 4 or 5 versions. I got excited. Okay, I need to calm down. But I'm in on Jurassic World, Jurassic Park, Jurassic whatever. So they got me on this everything I'm reading so far, I can understand. Black Panther, I can understand. I saw #1 in the movies, and I saw them all in the movies, and I loved all of them. Now I have not gone back and rewatched them on, home TV or whatever, because there's some movies that they make such a great impact to you or whatever that you're not gonna ever forget them. So like, there's no need to go and really watch them. But next top searched movies, we have 6 more for 2023. The Batman. I'm out of that series, meaning that I don't know anything other than the outfits that they wear, Batman and Robin, just from being a kid watching the cartoons. But as far as the movies, I don't know. I've never seen a Batman movie. Uncharted, I didn't see that. RRR, I didn't see that. I don't even know what the RRR stands for. Encanto is a cartoon. I think it's on Netflix. I didn't see that. Morbius, I didn't see that. And 1917. Now, Morbius in 1917, never even heard of it along with the RRR one, so I can't give any um, idea on even what those are. But if you know, tell me down in the comments so that if it sounds very interesting, I might go watch it. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a couple of people, and I need to write that down because I haven't seen her lately. I watch a show called The Juicy Scoop. with Heather McDonald, and I met her at the Gracie Awards years ago, and yeah, I met her years ago at the Gracie Award. But she has a show called Juicy Scoop right here on the YouTube streets. And I'm going to tell you, every time she does a review on a particular show, a series, a movie, and I go and watch it, she and I have the same taste in movies and shows and series. And she's the reason I watched The Tinder Swindler. She's the reason I forgot that girl's name that swindled all those people out of money. And she was like the queen of New York as far as, socialite. I mean, she's the reason I watched a lot of shows that typically I would not have watched. So check out Juicy Scoop on YouTube. It's really, really fun. Keeps you in the loop of what's going on with the celebrities, what's going on with movies and shows and reality TV and all that stuff. Now, when she does her shows and it's all about reality TV, I don't watch because I don't watch reality TV. So I won't know what she's talking about anyway. Let's talk about the top cars searches for 2023. Now, let me tell you something. We just did a show about popular words. So when I use this one, you're gonna know exactly what I'm talking about. I was a little salty that my favorite car was not on here. And when I say salty, I'm telling you, I was so salty that I almost didn't do the top cars of 2023 because I just thought like somebody was trying to be funny. Why you not gonna have my favorite car on here? So anyway, let me tell you, my favorite car is Mini Coopers. And the fact that it wasn't on here, I was salty. But I'm going to go ahead and give you this little weak list that all of y'all wanted to go ahead and look up and then call and get my opinion to say, hey, let's get on here and wreck this interwebs with Mini Cooper stuff. But I'm just joking. Okay, so the top car searches for 2023 were Toyota Camry. My mom has had a Toyota Camry since the early 2000s. It has a quadrillion miles on it, and it runs better than my little Mini Cooper. Don't tell her I said that because she just, yeah. Honda Accord. My oldest son loves Honda Accords. That's what he has right now. Tesla Model 3 were more popular. Hyundai Elantra. Hyundai Tucson. Well, sound like Hyundai. Hyundai is winning. Acura Integra, my Acura that I had, I'm still upset in the 90s, that in like 96 or 7, I'm still upset that I sold that car. But this little guy wanted that car to race that car, and I sold that car, and I should not have. But I wanted a bigger family car, and that one was a really, really old, but it was cute and it was fast, and I probably could have still had that car today. It probably still running, but they said they needed it to race, and I was in the mode for a bigger car at that time. I think I wanted a minivan or something like that, and I sold that car, and I really regret selling it. There's only been really 3 cars in my life that I really loved. I'm happy with what I'm in now, but I really loved my Monster Protege because that was the first car I had that had a drop top sunroof on it. I loved my Chevy HHR. I never found out what the HHR stood for, but I loved my little blue Chevy HHR. All the cars that I loved were blue. I had a blue HHR, and then my other car was the Acura. That one was blue, and then the Mazda Protege was blue. Baby, I have had some blue cars. And then one time I had a Ford, some kind of Ford car. It was blue. Wow, I did not. I just realized that I had 3 or 4. I had 4 blue cars that I can remember. That's crazy. Kia Forte was on the list. Polestar 2, don't know them. Chevy Corvette was on the list. I'll never forget when I was married in early 90s. I got married in 92. I remember we went to go and look at Corvettes because, child, this man wanted a Corvette. Why do you want a Corvette? And we sitting over here talking about we about to have 6 children. What are you doing, sir? So, just to make him happy, we went to go look at him. And he said, well, you can have a brand new car, but I want to have me a man car. And you can have the family car. And it's like, that's crazy how men think that's okay for them to have the nice fancy car. So when we go out, we look good. Or when he's out with his homeboys, he look good. But you got to have a family car to have like all back seat and everything. But we went and looked at Chevy Corvettes, and we saw this couple driving on I-45 in Houston, Texas, with the top down. And I can't tell you what she was doing to him in that car, but it was on the freeway, and I'm surprised that they did not wreck. I'm going to leave that right there. You can put your imagination to work if you want to. So next is going to be the top Googled across the interwebs shows and TV series of 2023. You are not going to be surprised by several of these, because I'll tell you which ones I'm not surprised with, because I watched them and I looked them up before I looked at them. The Last of Us is on the list. Highly, highly, highly recommended. Wednesday, high on the list. I highly, highly, highly recommend that for especially the young folks who don't know really much about the Addams Family but combined to this franchise. Jenny and Georgia, I was in on that one. From day one, I liked that show. That was one of the ones I really liked. Another show called One Piece. I don't know that one. Kaleidoscope. I heard of that one. King the Land. Don't know, but sounds like it has some words missing. It could be King of the Land, but it just says King the Land. The Glory. Didn't see that one. And that 90s show. I've heard of that 70s show with Ashton Kutcher, but I never heard of that 90s show. Now, I'm going to go down a list in a few minutes of the top. I'm going to just do top 10 or 20. The top 10 or 20 Googled people in 2023 that are like the highest on the list, meaning they were higher than even me listing the other ones that I just listed. These other ones were listed due to scandal or whatever. The other ones I'm going to list in a few minutes are just because they're freaking popular and they make the list all the time. But before I do that, I want to tell you that the top Googled man on planet Earth was Damar Hamlin. Now, I don't know nothing about sports, y'all, so I had to look up who this young man was. And apparently he plays football, and apparently he had an injury of some kind. Y'all, I don't know. I'm sorry to the people who know sports and know who Damar Hamlin is. I'm not one of those people. I don't know anything about sports. I only know maybe a handful of football players and a handful of basketball players, and it's because they got in trouble about something and it was forced upon me when I'm listening to people's podcasts or shows, or when I'm looking at different shows and things. So other than that, I would not know these people at all. So number one was Damar Hamlin. Okay. Number two for the girls, women, young ladies, Taylor Swift. So now that I've given you top man Damar Hamlin, football player, top two Taylor Swift, female entertainer and singer, I'm going to just go through, I guess I'll just go through the top 13, you know. The reason I'm going to go through the top 13 is because these were the top searches, and that's just what it is. And we're talking about billions of people looking them up. The last one on this list had 155,000 people look them up. The top person on this list had 1.5 billion people looking them up. So more people looked up Taylor Swift than actually looked up YouTube. And we know, I told you, YouTube is all that in about 4 bags of Doritos, all flavors. Okay? So Taylor Swift was number one. And I just found out who this next person was yesterday. Messi, apparently, Messi, apparently he's a football player. So not our American kind of football, but the thing that we call soccer over here that they call football over there. I don't know him. Ronaldo is also a soccer / football player. Cher, now I'm going to tell you why I believe Cher was on the list, because she's dating a toddler. Not literally, but figuratively. She's dating a toddler that used to be dating Amber Rose, that has a child with Amber Rose, and she's now dating him. And I think Cher is maybe about 77 years old, and he is maybe about 35. That's why I'm calling him a toddler. Hope that's no offense to anybody who's dating somebody younger. But we are getting so close right now to the end of the year, and I'm excited about it. And I want to try new foods this year. I want to just do so many things that I've never done. I get such pleasure out of doing things that I've never done before, and then I end up realizing I like them. The next one on the list is Drake. You know, Drake is always in drama. Drake is so soft, and Drake is so sensitive, and Drake said he was retiring this year, and Drake did this and Drake did that, and 2 steps forward and 3 steps back, and around, and now we gonna hopscotch. I'm just, you know, he had a record that was released. He just released another one. He's got singles. He had a little scandal this year, but everybody kind of swept that under the rug because they think he's cute. So we'll move on. The next one was Travis Kelce. Just found out who he was a few years ago because my youngest daughter Peyton, she thought he was just so cute when he was with the other girl that he was with, but she don't like the fact that he's with Taylor Swift. So I don't know what that's all about, but just found out who Travis Kelce was. Elon Musk was a top search. Now he wasn't as searched as I thought. I mean, he had 1,455. I'm sorry, 456 people that was searching for him this year. So he was number 7 on the list. Eminem was number 8 on the list. I think Eminem is always going to be relevant just because of the circles that he ran in, just because of the people that, you know, made him who he was as far as an entertainer. And, you know, he kind of minds his business, and we don't hear very much from him. Number 9 was Usher. You know, Usher had his residency in Las Vegas. Usher and Keke Palmer had a little drama going on. Usher has had some negative things said about him. We don't know if they're true or not. We assume and we think it's true, but we don't know. Again, Usher did very, very well, and then Usher is also going to be headlining. So far today, he's going to be headlining the Super Bowl for 2024, which I think is in the month of. I think it's in either January or February. I don't know. I told you I don't know sports. And then you got David Beckham as number 10. Usher was number 9. David Beckham is number 10. Y'all favorite person on the planet had 1,695,000 people, and that was Beyonce. Now, I don't even know how that's possible because Beyonce just had a worldwide tour, but we know whose tour must have been on top because her name is number 1, which is Taylor Swift. So, Bad Bunny, I just found out who he was, and I don't know his music. I've never heard it, but I decided I'm going to listen to a few songs just so I can say I know what his music is, just simply because he is very, very, very popular. Now, he had 1,670,000 people, which is, you know, a little bit more than Beyonce. XXX Tentacion is on there because there was a little bit of information about his death and surrounding his death and who possibly, you know, did it. And I'm going to just go ahead and go through all the way to number 17. Britney Spears was on there. You know, she got out of her conservatorship. You know, she's doing her twirling and dancing, and her boyfriend, sorry, her and her husband broke up. I think his name is Sam something. They broke up, and there was some drama around that. We know that Plies is in love with her, and he keeps putting videos saying that, you know, she is all of that to him, and you know, a couple of bags of chips. And so that's the funniest thing on the planet to me. So Britney Spears was number 14. Ariana Grande was Britney Spears was number 14. Ariana Grande is number 15. She had a public divorce that's coming up. I don't know if it's finalized or whatever. She, you know, was messing around with a married man. You know, all of those things that came out. I wish these people would be on the list for reasons like a Taylor Swift or somebody that's on here for good reasons. But instead, it's because of what's going on negatively in their personal lives that we don't need to know about. Just like a young man came out a month ago almost and said, you know, his name is Christian Keys, and I think he's worked with all kinds of producers like Tyler Perry and all that. And when I saw his post, I've literally posted under his thing, "We do not care, take it to the police." We don't need to know a lot of these people business. Take it to the courts. That's the reason we have courts. That's the reason we have attorneys. And let these people do their job, okay? So it's not that I don't care that it happened to him. It's just that I don't care if you didn't care enough about yourself to go to the courts, okay? If some men was trying to groom you and molest you and assault you, go take it to the courts. There's nothing we can do about it as the public, except when it's time to speak up and support you, then we can do that. But I wish they would take these things to the court first, and then bring it to the public, because then we can go and get the paperwork and we can read through the paperwork. Adele, Adele has been on a tour. Adele got married this year. Adele has had some drama, some backlash. She's had some good times. Adele say she don't care what y'all say, she got what she wanted. She was number 16. And then I'll just end with Rihanna was number 17 on the list this year. Rihanna had another baby. Rihanna and ASAP Rocky are together. I think her name is going to be, drug into the drama with his shooting case that's coming up. I hate that that's going to happen to her, because what it does is it puts her reputation in question. And when you start questioning people's reputation, then you give them the side eye a little bit. But that was Rihanna's choice, was to be with who she's with. And I don't think any of her fans approve of this, but it's not up to us to approve of anyone's relationship, whether we're a fan or whether we're a foe. Okay? So that's the end of that information. But Happy New Year to you. I hope for every single soul that's listening that whatever it is that you're planning for 2024, that not only will it materialize, but that it will materialize bigger than what you thought it should materialize, and that you are successful at whatever you put your hands to. Okay? That's what I'm hoping for you for 2024. And for all of those people that procrastinate and don't really move forward, I hope that this year you will move forward. Now, before I give you more 2024 blessings, I also want you to know that I feel like, and this is my personal opinion, I feel like if you didn't learn everything that you needed to learn about how to get back to the basics, about how to govern yourself accordingly, how to protect yourself, how to put plans in place just in case it all goes to you know where. If you didn't learn that in the pandemic, and especially now that we are really post-pandemic, then don't really know what to tell you. And I don't even want to say, well, maybe next time. I don't hope there is a next time in my lifetime. Okay? Now, I can't leave this year without talking about the shenanigans of 2023. One of the shenanigans of 2023 was all of the breakups. I'm not going to list them because it's not our business, but it's amazing to me how people care so much and are so shocked when you hear about a breakup or you hear about a couple getting together that you don't agree with. It's amazing to me how people feel like they have an opinion on anybody's personal relationship. I wish that we don't hear about these people. I would really like to roll it back to the 80s, where you didn't have access to your celebrities, where you could not reach out to them that easy. Now, I am enjoying being able to see what their opinions are and to be able to see how they feel about things, but I am also wishing that we didn't have that much access to know who they were with and what their sexuality is. Like, I don't care. The next piece of shenanigans we've had for 2023 is in the political realm. Who's going to run for president? Who's going to jail? Who's getting impeached? Whose son is a slut? Sorry, that word is not proper, but you know what I'm saying? Like, ooh, all the shenanigans around the sex trafficking and the blood drinking and the children sacrificing and all of these things that are being put in our face, that some of us, i.e. I'm some of us, the things we want justice on, but we don't need to know the gory details. Like, for example, with Jeffrey Epstein, if they had said, he was horrible, he, took advantage of young girls, blah, 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 without giving us the details, I would be just fine with that. With Jeffrey Epstein's list, and I have a copy of it, I'm just not going to reveal it. I'm not making it a show. I wanted to just see it for myself. With Jeffrey Epstein's list, I wish that maybe they didn't put the list out, but that they actually reprimanded everybody that was on the list, or at least put every single one of them through a deposition. Okay? And then, if they wanted to play the depositions off on some of these court shows, then that's good enough. But the things that we've heard, it makes us scrutinize every single person from the flight log. Some of your favorites are there. People you assume, yeah, that's the kind of way they roll. And then people that a lot of folks worship right now are on the list. Some people I'm absolutely not surprised, and they're the biggest moguls you could think of. Number 3 on the shenanigans list for 2023. The church mess. See, some of y'all are just hearing about the church mess, but I've been knowing the church mess since the early 2000s. I've seen the church mess with my eyes. I was in a mega church where the mess was so horrible. I left after, 15 years. Okay? We've been seeing the pastor get the members pregnant. We've been seeing pastors, same sex lovers. We've been seeing this. Okay? I said a long time ago that I think all the real men really left the church back in mid 2000s. I don't think the real men have been in church. I think that they've gone on their own way to get their own spiritual teachings and to discover and learn on their own because they realize that they should have taken heed and not putting their trust in man. Even today, I saw someone that reached out to me and wanted to partner with me on something, and I saw it on her Instagram story that she's still promoting speeches from T.D. Jakes. I don't know if she's a member of the church or if she lives in Dallas or if she just watches him every day on TV. But we've been knowing about the church mess. It's just that we swept it under the rug. We didn't say anything. We just continued to ignore it. And it's almost like you just deal with it even though you know a lot of things are true. And I'm not just talking about one particular person. I'm talking about across the board. We've been seeing all of this. We've been seeing, the members hurting in the churches and not having enough money to pay their light bills and gas bill, water bill, phone bill, and all of these different bills. But they still go and sit in church and feel obligated to tithe. So I was just thinking, for example, people have this thing in their head to say that, they have to do this, they have to do that. But if you're not really, really, really taking heed, then it's like, I don't really know what to say. But the church mess for 2023, in my opinion, it went too far. Okay? And when I say it went too far, I don't mean we shouldn't have known. I'm just saying we now know so much. Okay? We now just know too much. And then my bonus shenanigan for 2024 is the celebrity downfalls. It's like when the Me Too movement came, the dominoes went in slow motion. They went down. Oh, they went down. But you know how dominoes go? Bam, 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 bam. And they just keep going? It's like these dominoes went. And then the next domino went. And that's the pace that it has taken since 2020, I guess. It has taken people's names are popping up that I would just never want to know that's in the mix of this. Celebrities are complaining that they have not been being paid right for years. And they didn't say anything because they wanted to just go along to get along. That's the one thing I will never subscribe to is the go along, get along method. I find it disgusting. I find it to be degrading. And I find it to be one of those things that haunt you when you go to sleep at night, and whether you know it or not, it probably is aging you because it's annoying you to the point that you think about it all the time, but you can't say nothing because then people gonna want to cancel you. And I say for 2024, we cancel culture. Okay? If you don't mess with somebody no more, then just don't mess with them. Like when I decided to stop following a certain mogul because I realized that she was as fake as a $3 bill, I just didn't mess with her no more. I just didn't want to hear anything she had to say. I don't follow this person. I would not trust myself to be in a room alone with this person. I would not want to touch this person's nothing, like shake their hand, hug them, fist bump. I wouldn't want to do anything. I wouldn't even really want to be in the same room with this person. So for me, it's just been a overload of shenanigans. And that's why I decided, as I'm moving this podcast show or this pod show forward, that I'm going to give the good news. I'm going to give the informational news. I'm going to give things that's going to help you to move the needle forward. And I'm going to stay out of this parking lot of shenanigans, okay? So those are the shenanigans that have just rocked everybody's existence of what they thought or think that things were supposed to go a certain kind of way. And just think about it. Whenever you think something is supposed to go that way, it's usually not going to go that way, okay? So I hope that you did not make any New Year's resolutions, but instead you've resolved some things in 2023 that you're not going to be taking with you or tagging along or dragging along or pulling along or convincing along or any of that for 2024. So instead of saying my New Year's resolution is to blah, 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 just say, you know what? For 2024, I want more of blank. If you want more fun, go get it. If you want more excitement, go get it. If you want more things, guess what? Go get them. If you want to do more photo shoots, go do it. If you want more color on your walls in your house, do it. If you want more pets, go for it. If you want whatever you want for 2024, just go get it. And I don't mean that to be like, oh, just go get it. I'm saying put a plan in place. You know, I'm always talking about them plans, okay? Put a plan in place and actually go get it and focus on it until you see that it has materialized and it's real to you. We can work on 10 things at one time, but we're going to do number one, and when it's done, then we're going to move to number two, because number one is done. We're going to move to number two, because number two is now done. Number one is already making us some money. Number two is on its way. Then we move to plan number three, because number two is on its way to make money while number one is making money. So then we move to number four, because number four is, the next plan, number three, is working. Number two is now making a little bit of money. Number one is still making good money. I could go on and on and on. What I'm saying is, write out all of those 15, 20 things you want to do. Start back at number one. Now, I do something weird. I'll list 20 or 30 things that I'm going to complete, and then I'll go back and I'll number out of order where I'm going to start working at. Like, there were some business certifications that I wanted for 2023. In this last 120 days, baby, I did it. They got approved. I'm, legit. I can do some things, okay? All right? There's another certification that I want to help small business, new small business, self-employed people that, working in partnership with a couple of government entities. That certification is coming up in March. I can't wait for them to say, hey, it's ready. And I can do it on my own pace, from home, from anywhere in the world, as long as I'm on Zoom a couple of times. I got a whole schedule that I have to put together, and it's going to work out really great. And once I do that, then I can contract with some entities doing some really great things. So I'm just saying, whatever you say you're going to do, just stop talking about it and do it. And then let me just give you a little note here. You can't tell everybody everything you're doing. Make that a priority for 2024. Don't tell everybody what you're doing. Only those who would care, only those who would offer support, even if support is, I'm going to hear what you have to say. I'm going to hear what you are wanting to do. I can't offer you nothing. I don't have no money for you. I don't know that realm of whatever, so I can't really offer too much advice other than ask questions and then figure out how I want to respond or just to be a listening ear. Sometimes what I know is that sometimes people would talk to you about things just to be able to tell somebody. They're not expecting you to say anything. They're not asking for your solutions. They're not asking for your opinion. They're not asking for your know-how. They're not asking for your referrals. They're not asking for no help at all except a listening ear. I always gauge people when they're talking to me. And until they say, what do you think about that? Or do you have an opinion on that? Or have you ever done that? I just say, oh, okay. Well, I mean, whatever you want to do, do it. And I just offer that type of support because I'm also that type of person. So I know what I'm saying is true. Sometimes I don't need your feedback. I just need your ear, and that's it. So for 2024, I'm just hoping that for anybody who's listening to my voice right now, like for example, I have a true confession here going into 2024. Happy New Year, y'all, by the way. You see Angie's there with all that money. We were actually in Miami, and we were at a studio where you can go in and you can take as many photos that you want to take. And when you walk in, there's maybe like 30 different booths set up, and you can go in and take photos. And they had a money vault in there, and I'm telling you, it was just money everywhere, and it was set up like a bank vault, and that's where this actual beautiful picture came from. I'm telling you, that girl, her eyebrows are on point right there. But we were just kind of playing around with the money, and a lot of the photos that you've seen us all in, all the girls, that was some of it was in Miami, some of it was in Austin, some of it was in Mexico, just different photos that you see there of us. But we've had some really, really, really great times. Now, the girls don't get to come on the podcast as much as I would really like for them to, but that's going to also change in 2024. We're going to set aside some time where at least once a month I can get one of them on the show. They've been doing their own journey in the last 6 months, trying to figure out what they really want to do for work, figuring out where they really want to live, figuring out personal relationships, friendships, and all kinds of things. So, they've got their own thing. I've got the time to do it because I'm in a different era in my life right now. But, once they figure it all out, they will be able to do more with their time. And I want to put a little bug in your ear. If you have not studied Napoleon Hill's 17 Success Principles, I'm going to tell you that I suggest that you do read Think and Grow Rich. Because those principles when I was 25 is what got me here. Yes, I've read over 10,000 books. However, that one, because I was a leadership trainer for them for many years, 8 years, I remember that book the most. I remember those principles the most. I remember the teachings from Napoleon Hill the most. I could always tell when I'm talking too long because I start getting the hiccups or yawning or something. But it's not because I'm sleepy, it's just that I'm talking too much. But my true confession to you at the end of 2023 is that because you out there in the YouTubers, you're listening to my voice, this gives me an outlet to talk. You can ask anybody that has ever known me since a baby, a child, a teenager. I've been a talker. I love to talk about things that are interesting to me. I love to talk about travel. I love to talk about success and business and things that are going on in the world that's going to help people. I love to talk. So your listening ear right now, your listening ear is actually giving me the opportunity to be able to express myself, express my opinions. I think I'm a little bit of a comedian. I be trying. But I'm actually going to do a one-woman show, and I'm going to record myself for myself and look at it myself and then decide if I want to put that out in the universe. And I'll have another true confession. That just came from my spirit right then. And I thought about the comedy part of it, the fun part of it, but not really acting on it or whatever. There's so many great things that are coming up for my circle of influence, and I'm I'm just on top of the world about it for no other reason than I just don't want to take all of my ideas to my grave. Simple as that. I heard somebody say a few weeks ago that the richest places in America is the graveyards because people have died with their magic and their ideas and their success in them because they didn't self-motivate themselves to get up and do it. They were lazy in the mind and didn't take action. They weren't focused and diligent and direct with doing what they needed to do to get by. I don't care if you say to yourself, before I leave this earth, I want to drive a whatever. It could be a flying car, I don't care. If you don't diligently look to see where you can test drive a flying vehicle before you leave this earth, shame on you. I remember some years ago, and I'm about to wrap this up, but I remember some years ago I had on my bucket list that I wanted to I wanted to fly in a helicopter. That I was going to get me a trip in a helicopter come you know what or high water. I was getting in a helicopter. And I used to do seminars out in a place called Palacios, Texas. And I was out there doing a seminar when I was partnered and contracted out by a private entity. I was in Palacios, Texas, and I happened to pick up a flyer at one of the thrift stores, and they were talking about this festival that they were going to be having on a particular day and time. And wouldn't you know that it had listed on there free helicopter rides. I tried to get people to go with me and nobody wanted to go. So baby, I hightailed it over to Palacios, Texas, which is about an hour or so from me. And I waited in that line to get on the helicopter, and they're going to tell me, well, you can't ride in the helicopter because you by yourself. You need an extra person. So I looked around and was like, okay, who want to ride in this helicopter with me? I'll go with whatever stranger wants to ride with me. Okay. Me and that stranger got in that helicopter together because they were doing two at a time. It was free, so they had to maximize on, the people that they were taking around the Gulf waters over there, okay? And so I got in that helicopter ride. We went over the Gulf and came back around, and we had a beautiful view of everything. I didn't take a lot of pictures, which is what I'm sad about. It's like, I wish I was so diligent with photos and video like I am now, which is why I do overkill right now. I will overkill with the video and the photos simply because back in the day we didn't think to do that. And this was probably, I'm going to say it was maybe 2013. No. It had to be like 2012 because it was it had to be maybe 2010 or 2011 because it was before I did my television talk show. So it had to be 2011 or 12. And I got in that helicopter with that stranger, and we had the most beautiful view and over that water. And I was so crazy. I sat on the end, and now that I think about it, it was like an open door situation. I don't even remember the door being closed on the helicopter. I don't even know if it had a door. All I know is I was in a red helicopter. I think I took a picture of me and the driver, and that was it. I was just in such awe. I was in the moment, which is a really good thing to be in the moment of something that you're doing. It's a good feeling. It's wonderful. But I love taking things off of my bucket list with my red ink pen. I can't wait to grab my bucket list book on the 1st of January 2024 so I can mark off, everything that I just kind of shared that I did in the last 120 days. But I couldn't even do a whole show without it being 4 hours probably to just tell you the things that I've accomplished for 2023. And not one of them was bigger than the next because they were all big things. People that I've met, events I've gone to, travel I've done, completions of things I've, done, the way I've connected with people, building a another brand of something that fits into my already brand, helping the people that I've helped. I can't, it would take me 4 hours probably to list those things. So I'll just kind of keep them to myself and just kind of leave it right there. But I really hope that you enjoyed the show today. I didn't do a wrap up last year and I beat myself up about it because I had planned on doing it and then I got busy with nothing. Meaning I didn't go to party. I don't go to parties or anything. Like even for New Year's Eve, just hanging out New Year's Eve with my mom. Gonna spend the night over there into the New Year day. Because honestly, I'm happy and I'm excited that she gets to see 75 years on the planet. I'm happy that I get to see 51. I've experienced 51 New Years. She's experienced 75 New Years. That's a good thing. I don't know what your goals are. I don't know what you plan on doing with your life. But I do hope that you take it more serious. Okay? I hope that every day that you wake up, you do something extraordinary. I learn something new every day. Every single day I learn something. And it's not just because I'm on social media. I purposely look for things. I purposely read. I purposely meet new people. Today, what did I learn? I got a phone call from a particular person who their company is nationwide and they want to partner with our travel group and possibly create a brand of something for us. And I'm just like, this lady called me on the day before New Year's. That lets me know, okay, she's serious about connecting with me to see how we want to partner with them. I like that. I'm going to tell you the average people shut down 2 weeks ago. And I'm telling you, by December the 15th, they shut down. And you won't start hearing from these people until after the 10th of January, okay? They shut down. They don't want to do business. They don't want to talk about anything. They're not trying to spend no money. They're not trying to do any extra time that doesn't have to do with family or whatever. They're not trying to plan. They're just kind of going to coast on through and do whatever. And not thinking that now is the time that you need to be connecting with people. Now is the time that you need to be building whatever you're building. Now is the time to get on the radar of your consultant or whoever you want to help you for 2024 and not think that anything's going to be given to you. Nobody's just going to come and say, hey, here's this money, go and do this thing that you want to do. No, you're going to have to work for it. You're going to have to pay to get it. You got to do what you got to do to get it, okay? And if that costs you money to get it, it is what it is. That's another term, of course, that was, pretty popular for 2023 as it is what it is. So I just said it. But that's kind of how I'm ending my year, is on a good note. I'm ending my year with all of the great TV that I've seen this year. I'm ending my year with all the great podcasts that we've done for 2023. And if you haven't had a chance to look at a lot of our shows, I'm going to ask that you do go and look at our shows. You will learn something on every single show. I had a lady call me and she said, Ms. Dawn, I can't listen to your podcast while I'm in the car coming home from work. I thought that your podcast would be one of those I could listen to, but she said, you drop too many nuggets and I can't even listen to your podcast while I'm driving. I have to be listening to your podcast when I'm in my office so I could take notes. And I was laughing so hard because I actually understand what she's saying, because sometimes when I'm talking, you don't see this on my end, on your end, but sometimes when I'm talking, ideas come to my mind. And when the ideas come to my mind, I end up writing them down because there are things that I want to, look into further or whatever. So those are the things, because we've done shows on, how diamonds are made and the process it has to go through. We've done shows on, how tires, rubber for your car tires are made. We've done all types of different shows that have been really kind of fun. I did a show review, and I'll be doing a lot more of those reviews for 2023 because I love doing reviews for 2024. Like right now, I'm writing that down to remind myself to stick in at least one review a week. I just wrote that note down. But I'm gonna tell you right now, if you have not been paying attention to our show, I'm going to suggest that you start paying attention because I might be talking about one thing, but I'm also going to squeeze in something else. And the reason why I'm going to squeeze in something else is because I want you to learn some little nuggets while I'm giving you nuggets on top of nuggets of things that's actually going to help you in your life. Again, I don't even watch TV if I can't learn from it. So I'm definitely not going to talk and teach about anything to you if I can't teach you something as well. So just call me your online teacher if you want to. But that's what I'm all about. And I know that our show is called Mother Daughterish and it's focused and geared toward women. But for any men that are listening to the show, I thank you. I thank you very, very much. We'll adopt you in. You can listen to the show and learn something as well. Because you have women in your life, like wives and daughters and sisters, that you could educate and maybe tell them about the show and y'all could listen together. And maybe you can learn more about the women that are in your life by listening to shows that women like to listen to. So that's my show for tonight. I have to tell you, Happy New Year. I want to say Happy 2024. I want to say that for all year long for you. I want to say I hope that you have an amazing new year and many, many more to come. And for now, that's my wrap up for 2023. And I thank you for listening. Happy New Year and bye for now.